So Chris, what did you think of the movie?
Oh, it was excellent. Chris did a phenomenal job. It's good to have a good Philly actor being represented. So yeah, my hat off to Chris Mann.
Okay.
Paving the way for us Philly actors.
Chris did an awesome job. You guys got to come down and check out the movie. Great movie for the time period that we're going into right now.
I'm gonna build you a house. Right here. Our house. I wanna take Mildred up to DC to get married.
Are you sure about that?
By the power vested in me by the District of Columbia, I now pronounce you husband and wife.
In here? What you doing in bed with that woman?
I'm his wife.
Yeah, hi, my name is Chris Mann, and I played the character Theala Jeter, who was Mildred Loving's father in the movie.
Okay. Well, how did you get the role? Where was it filmed? And
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, it's a funny story. I actually almost didn't even audition for this role because when it was first presented to me, it was presented as a low-budget film that was going to be shot in Virginia. And of course, we can do those right here in Philadelphia. So I didn't know if it was something that I wanted to be involved with. I didn't know the backstory or anything about the film. And but my agent asked me to put myself on tape. I did that. A week later, she said, "Oh, they love you. They want to know if you can come to Virginia for a callback." And I was like, "Well, it's still a low budget in Virginia. You know, I don't know if I want to travel 5 hours just to, not be guaranteed a part." So I had her send my package and all my information to the producers and whatnot, and they liked that, and they said, "Okay, well, we'll do a Skype callback." So now I want to know who are these people who keep coming back and letting me get a second chance at this. So I look it up online, I go on IMDb, and at this time, before the production started, I didn't know that the movie had been optioned by Martin Scorsese. So when I go online on IMDb, I see his name, and I'm like, wait a minute. Martin Scorsese, yeah, this doesn't sound like modified or low budget, And then I saw the director was Jeff Nichols, and I knew that he'd done Mud with Matthew McConaughey, so I said, okay, I don't know if my agent really knows what she's, gotten me into. So now I'm a little excited. So I do the Skype call back, and Jeff Nichols was most gracious, and he liked me and said, I think you're going to do great. I just want to know if you mind coming down so I can meet you in person. So, I couldn't leave quick enough to get to Virginia now, so I shoot down. I met Ruth Negga and a few of the other cast members, and the rest is history as far as the casting is concerned.
okay. So the thing that most impressed me is the production design, the attention to detail, like recreating that time period, those specific types of people. Like, there's. Well, I'll ask you. So, in terms of like depicting the character, because it's kind of sort of a toe-the-line era. It's like Jim Crow.
Right, exactly.
What choices are you making in terms of how to depict them, and how is Jeff helping you?
That's a good question. Well, first of all, I actually watched a documentary that was done by HBO, aired at Nancy Bursky actually produced that. So I got a good feel for the time and the era. Also, my mother's side of the family is from North Carolina, and we have mixed race in our family as well. So it wasn't too hard for me to, relate to that time period and the people that were in it. So I used a lot of that. Family experience, the documentary, and like I said, then when we got down there, we went around and we started to visit people, and we met family members and whatnot. So I had a lot to draw off of to create this character.
Mm-hmm. But the tone of the film overall is not a lot of words.
No.
All of the actors, with the exception of the lawyers, have very little words to work with in terms of shaping the personality and finding motivation. So what were some of the challenges for you?
I could use. I have daughters. Okay, so I have 3 daughters, and just like Theala, he had 2. So trying to put myself in a position of vulnerability in a situation at a time period where I know I couldn't speak up as much as I would like to, and I had to make it all internal, picture my daughter in a situation, where I'm supporting her, and it's another thing too, to know that they were from an area where these mixed relationships were not uncommon. I mean, it was really, it happened. The fact that he married her and the sheriff was the one who really was the antagonist in the film, because he was the one who pushed the issue, because if it wasn't for him, they probably wouldn't have had this issue. So, like I said, from my experience as a father and having situations that deal with my daughters, I could kind of draw off of that. I know, well, just even from my parents, my mother was from North Carolina, and I heard stories. I was a kid at this time, when a lot of that stuff was going on. So, but I've heard the stories, how you couldn't look white people in the face. When you went in town, you saw them. They tell you, you can look at them, but don't look in their faces. Turn your head when you see them. My grandmother was a maid. I mean, when I was growing up, days that I wouldn't have, when I didn't have school and my mother had to go to work, I would go with my grandmother, to the places where she worked for her employers, and it'd be the same thing. I'd be in there, she'd be polishing the silverware for them, and she said, "Don't go in that room." And so you knew the boundaries that you had. So drawing off of these experiences and hearing the stories, I mean, I think I had a lot that I could draw off of to put myself in the mindset of this character.
Okay, it's starting to get a little noisy. So, final thoughts?
Well, I'm truly honored to be a part of this film. I think that at this time and space that we're in this country right now, it is most timely. You couldn't write it. I said to somebody the other day, I said, yeah, we shot the film, but I think God had bigger plans for it, because the time that it's coming out at this point right now is so important. I think we need more stories like this to magnify the thought that we are all just one people. And these man-made divisions need to be abolished, and it's time for it. I mean, we've evolved to this point, and hopefully this movie will be the spark to keep things going in the right direction.
I can take care of you.
I know that.
I can take care of you.
I know we have some enemies, but we have some friends too.
You realize this case could alter the Constitution of the United States.
You think you'll lose?
We may lose a small battles, but win the big war.
Is there anything you'd like me to say to the Supreme Court Justices of the United States?
Yeah. Tell the judge I love my wife.
The reason why Donald Trump is where he's at, if we relate it to film, I think there's some films people need to see that point to the danger of why Donald Trump is so important with his cult of personality.
What makes me mad is all the gangbangers, right? Mm-hmm. All the gangbangers that are supposed to be banging and shit. Okay, the cops are killing us. Why aren't you shooting at them for us? What happened, gangbangers? All of a sudden they at home and shit. Motherfuckers are at home. We're all these tough gangbangers. We need you. Hello? Hey, man, the Italians got mafia. Like the Italians, you know what I love about the mafia, the Italians? They protect their neighborhoods. They protect their neighborhoods. They protect their people. We're the only motherfuckers that have no mafia. Black people don't got a mafia. We can't even organize crime.